All right, so I want to kind of chat about some of my experiences and see kind of where you guys relate as well on the invisibility factor, which I feel at one point or another we've all felt. Now, we might have family or a spouse or someone at home that loves us and gives us attention, but if you've also felt this, then you can definitely resonate, kind of going out and being in the world and just kind of noticing that you're not really being noticed. I mean, that's the only word I can think of. You're not being noticed. You're not receiving, other people's attention. Now, I'm not saying it in a vain way, as though it's like you must be physically attractive to get people's attention, because believe me, there's plenty of those who aren't physically attractive that just have this energy to them that is attractive. So it has nothing to do with the way you look, has nothing to do with the way you dress, even for that matter. But I've written down some things, and the first one that I find is that when you feel that people aren't paying attention to you or even giving you a sense of recognizing your presence, it's probably because your aura is weaker than it has been at other times. You might find times when you are kind of like, why is everyone looking at me? Or why do I feel a little more like the center of attention when I walk in this room? You might have felt that. I'm sure we all have for a period of time. But that was probably when we had a very strong aura, a strong presence, either something we were doing or something we were practicing that was healthy and of light, right? But a lot of times when our aura is weakened, people don't even have to really recognize what they're looking at. They can just sense that there's something off. There's something off-putting. There's something that's not really desirable about the exchange of energy with you. Now, it could be times also people who are have darkened spirits or have really damaged themselves and been through a whole lot or lived wrong for a particular period of time. They don't really exchange energy with anyone because it's a little intimidating to them to exchange energy because their energy is so weak. So discredit the fact that some just have weak energy and you're not going to connect with them as is, because they don't connect with anyone, or they only connect with very few because they choose to, right? They choose to close themselves off. Now, if that's not the case and you're finding that people who themselves seem to have good energy aren't paying attention to you, is again the aura. So I've written down a few things. One of the first things that I find that either you're practicing or you're not practicing, but I'll talk more about God in future videos. But if you know God and you're pursuing God, that is the number one way that your aura is positive. So say your habits aren't so good, but you spend time with God, your aura is good. Now, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't have good habits. I'm just saying that God's kind of spirit and energy is on you, and you can sense it. Other people can sense it, rather. That's one thing. Spend time with God, get to know his will for your life, what he says about you, and who you are, because that purpose kind of comes into a confidence factor too, and it is a lot of times confidence. So another thing, don't gossip or judge people. People can sense it. If you're walking around with those eyes that say to others that you feel superior in some sense, people can sense it, weirdly enough. If you're kind of not thinking so positively that day, and maybe you're just in your own feelings about yourself, even you're gossiping or judging yourself in your own mind, you got to clear those thoughts, because that can be felt by others as well. So it's really the energy you carry, and it's all internal, but at the same time it's decisions you're making that are physical as well. Let's see. So if you don't have strong relationships with those in your life, you don't have good connection with your family, you don't have a good connection with your significant other, your siblings, parents, etc. People can sense that too. You have a lack of ability to connect. The connection side of things is harmful to others, because really, what are you doing when you see someone? What are you doing when you look someone in the eyes? You're kind of connecting. You're kind of socializing without even using any verbal communication. It's kind of like your, what would you call that? Non-verbal communication. That's the only thing I can think of. So that's one thing. Form strong relationships with those around you. Form strong relationships with your family, try to reach back out, try to be that person that is the bigger person. Even if someone has damaged you or someone has overlooked you or disrespected you or whatever, be that bigger person. Another thing I find a lot of times when I sense really bad energy on people, it's those who have a lot of wealth or who have a lot of resources or a lot of power. They hold an energy to them that is, like I was saying before, a superior energy. They don't get along with people because no one can resonate with that, because we're all humans and we all, seek to have a connection. And when you're big, it's like when the workers don't like their boss, it's because their boss is actually like a D, he's not a good guy, right? Or gal. It's because they have this energy to them that says, I'm better than you, listen to me, do what I say. So they carry that energy, as you will too, if you are pursuing money and pleasure above everything. If you're pursuing becoming someone or being appreciated simply because of your power or your status, you're going to not attract the right people. You're going to attract very similar people. You're going to reflect what's on the inside, outside. People are going to subconsciously know it. So the people that are going to be attracted to you are going to either have pride, or they're going to have a lack of connection ability as well. They're going to be obsessed with money as well. And so you find that a lot of these people run in groups with one another because they attract it. So don't attract it by allowing money to be your God. That is not a worthy God. That God does not care about you, believe me. And it's not really a God in the sense, something you worship, but it's not actually a God, if that makes sense. So be honest, show interest in others, care, have a demeanor to you that is actually interested, not just in your world, but other people's worlds, because we're all a part of a bigger connectivity. We all have the ability to connect deeper, even with strangers. And so when you close yourself off to that, by being dishonest, by being rude, arrogant, all these things, they come to the surface without even you having to say a word. It's pretty unbelievable how this world's been designed by God. It's like it puts people in the place they're supposed to be in, even if for a while they look like they're getting away with it, they won't. So you won't, if that's you. All right, second kind of bullet point, aside from the aura is important. It's a sense, it's a people acknowledge you more. When your aura is good, people are nodding at you, people are smiling at you. That's how you know when your aura is good. So another thing that could damage that aura, but also is just a reflection of your own lack of confidence, your own lack of love for yourself, is just that you don't love yourself for who you are. You may love yourself in vanity for the things that you have, or the things that you put value on, or the world puts value on, because the world will teach you that you're valuable because you have X, Y, and Z, right? It's like, oh, you have value because you've been successful in every endeavor you've done. No, you don't. I'm sorry, that's not how value works spiritually. If you're pursuing spiritual means of value, it is not that. So love yourself, not in a vain way, not for your own physical attraction, not for your own accomplishments, not for your own car, not for anything, right? So don't love yourself for that, but love yourself for who you're becoming and who you're evolving into, which is spiritual, which is righteous, right? So do the right thing when no one's watching. People can tell when you're up to no good in your own life. Like I can sense or spot spirits on people. God has given me the ability to see different things. So you can see when someone's like a thief, or a girl can see when a guy's a creep, right? And she's not going to give any attention to him because he's doing creepy stuff. Whatever it is, that you can sense the spirit on you. So when you act in a way that is doing the wrong thing when people aren't looking, and then doing the right thing when people are looking, it doesn't matter, because you're still going to be able to have some people sense it. The right people are going to sense it. The people who are in tune with the Most High, in tune with their higher self. I don't want to use it in a new age way, but their higher self, right? Their highest potential. That's probably a better word. All right, always remember you're imperfect. Don't ever hold yourself like you are perfect, because you're going to come across in the same sense, like I said, arrogant. You're going to come across as though you are enlightened. And those who are really quote unquote enlightened should be the most humble, because they have the most, to whom much is given, much is required, right? So it's like, if you're given that, you understand it as a gift, you understand that as an ability to do something good with it, and you don't do something good with it, it's taken away from you, like everything, you know, and eventually, right? Those are some good things. Love yourself more, love your imperfections. Don't get so caught up on how you look. I mean, a lot of women, unfortunately, have been taught to believe that your value is in your physical beauty only, and then you neglect everything else in life, which is really going to maintain a partner, which is really going to continue to make you desirable for the years to come as your beauty fades. Let's see. Those are the main things. Those are definitely some of the bullet points that have impacted my life. The more you make adjustments, so I'll kind of say also make adjustments to your habits. What your habits are going to be not you, they're distinct from you, but they become attached to you. You want to detach from these habits. You want to be as free as you can from any bondage, right? Some bondage includes constantly feeling the need to smoke a cigarette. That's something I've dealt with, right? Poor eating habits, going for the wrong foods all the time. So it's like, when you don't have self-control over it, people can also sense you don't have self-control. You're not a master, right? When you become a master spiritually, you become more connected to being a master, more connected to mastering yourself and your emotions, right? All the fruits of the spirit, which are, you know, from God, right? But you have to develop them. You have to work them out. You have to go through the trials and the tests to become the best version of yourself. So get rid of those habits. Stay away from porn. Most women that I've met don't watch porn, but it is one of those that has attachments to you. It has attachments to you because the spiritual side of whatever is behind the screen is now being placed on you. I would even say a step further for guys would be to not masturbate at all, or even actually both. Celibacy / not masturbating are going to give you a much deeper, not only connection with things around you and a healthy relationship with dopamine, but it's going to give you a sense of emotional connection with others, an ability to connect more with others rather than to just objectify people and things. It's like us guys, right? If we're watching porn, we have no problem connecting with guys. But when it comes to connecting with girls on an emotional level, there's a lack there, because what has been on our screen has been only sexual, right? And even if you have girlfriends, let's say you have no interest in them, you might be able to maintain a connection with them, because again, there's nothing, sexual thoughts are not coming in, so it's not taking away from that connection that you have with a girl you're not interested in. But for girls you're interested in, you're going to limit your opportunity and your confidence with them, because you're not even going to want to seek out the deeper things. You're not going to know how to seek out the deeper things, because the physical side of it has been brought to the front so overwhelmingly that you've lost touch with connecting. So those are some of the things. Habits. Stay positive. Keep speaking encouraging things. Keep seeking out information like this, which would be to improve your life. That's all I've ever done. That's how I've been able to really acquire information, is to have wisdom come from many people. Be a listener. Listen more than you talk. A lot of people are so quick to talk, so quick to have their opinion heard. All the times I've ever gotten the most out of life is being dead silent, being in a room with people and just listening. Someone looks over at me, don't even have to say anything to them. Just be present, be aware of energy. You kind of become like an eagle, being able to see things from a much higher point of view. And it's not to look at others with disdain or as though they're inferior, but to want to encourage others and help people and use all this to better others and yourself. So that'll do it for today. That's the majority of reasons I find. There could be more. Tune in.